Welcome to tonight's event of Opportunity Zones Meetups. My name is Karl Dakin. This is a program that we put on once or twice a month on the topic of opportunity zones. We appear to be coming at this from the position of a practitioner, and our goal is to share information at the edge of what we learn. And we try to present case studies and do deep dives into issues which are of concern to people who are trying to put together projects or create a fund or raise money from a fund. So we will go through this in more detail. We have our sponsors for tonight's program. Each of the three sponsors is a different hat I wear. So first off, I have my consulting company, Dakin Capital, where I'm working with about a half a dozen Opportunity Zone projects right now to put together the capital campaign, create the documentation, help with the strategy, and in some cases manage part or all of the campaign. And I'm doing this for a variety of people. As I mentioned in one of the emails that went out earlier this week, I will be a speaker at the Opportunity Zones Conference for Colorado on October 1st. We're going to be doing a case study presentation on behalf of my company, Unbridled Wealth, on our insurance banking enhancement. And by that time, hopefully, we'll have taken this relatively complicated model and making it simple enough for everybody to understand how it works and where they might consider using this in their own project. It's not limited to opportunity zones, but it can create an enhanced ROI and some major secondary benefits for a slightly higher cost than a standard opportunity zone investment. I'm also a candidate to be speaking at the National Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at the end of the month, but haven't received confirmation on that. And beyond that, yes, very much engaged in opportunity zone stuff everywhere. One of the projects I'm involved with is NetZero Colorado. This is a multi-use 50-acre development planned for inside of Fort Collins, north of New Belgium Brewing, if you know where that's at up there. We are at a point where we're now negotiating a contract for the first of 4 parcels that would allow us to start staging into this particular project. Our seller has to find a place to relocate to, which is part of the issue we're into in the negotiation. But this is intended to be a demonstration of an optimum working environment where live, work, play all come together in harmony. We're using the term human permaculture as yet another attempt to explain what we're trying to do. It'll include hotels and entertainment, indoor growing, a variety of restaurants, commercial and workforce housing, all under a bundle. And this will probably be a 3 to 5 stage core capital raise, and then each of the tenants probably will do their own raise. So we could end up with anywhere from 20 to 30 different capital campaigns within this single project. The next one is Invest New Mexico US. This is a new multi-asset fund which is just starting a $25 million raise, which they're raising money across the US, but the beneficiaries will be businesses within the state of New Mexico. We have 7 businesses already identified and the website, and we're using NES Financial as the back office for managing all the investors in the project. So you can get all the information on this site on this particular thing. And we have a number of investors who are on standby, hopefully to dump some money into this, so we get a good jump. And then this is limited to accredited investors with Opportunity Zone capital rollovers. We're looking at doing 2 to 3 more funds that work through the rest of the spectrum of everybody in the community. So the next one may be non-accredited Oz, the next one after that may be accredited non-Oz, and then the last one is non-Oz, non-accredited, so that everybody's got a chance to invest in local businesses in New Mexico. So if you have any questions about that, happy to share on that one, but that gets us through the 3 sponsors and each of the 3 hats that I'm wearing at the moment for purposes of this presentation. So we'll get into part one, talking about opportunity zones, funds, and investors. One of the things we've been working on within this group, which we're looking to continue to push forward, are what we call enhancements, things that either improve the ROI to an investor in an opportunity zone project or create more benefits or secondary benefits, which would cause investors to come into a project or cause someone who's in a community or somewhere else where ROI may not be as strong to get somewhere going. So right now we're working on a variety of these different things. One of them is innovation. So we are working with what we call innovation hubs, which is a hybrid model between property and businesses, or a group or portfolio of businesses that allows an investor to kind of hedge between the real estate and then hoping to hit the roulette wheel with one or more of the businesses that's within the zone. So the combination is one, more secure than a standard business, but it also has the upside potential that if one of these businesses goes well, there's far more tax benefits if there's far more profits at the point of sale. One of the other ones we're looking at is workforce housing with employer participation. In this case, an employer would guarantee to buy the housing at the end of the 10 years, creating an exit for the investors. They would guarantee the commercial loan to create more security and hopefully drop the cost of the commercial financing. And then at the end of 10 years, they would roll their employees through an employee benefit program into an ownership status where they can make money with a carried interest as the employer, but still even potentially come in under market both on the rents during the 10-year time period and on the sale price at the end of the 10 years. We have a lot of people, and in this case we're actually using a picture. This is a container house built by one of the businesses from the New Mexico Fund. Unlike most container houses that you've seen, this one is intended to look like a house, not like a container, and yet still be a low-cost, quick install type of a project. Then insurance banking, I mentioned earlier. We are working with Unbridled Wealth and now with a number of insurance agents and brokers across the United States where you have the potential to take the money that you're going to invest in an opportunity zone and also invest it into a whole life insurance program. And the net effect of that is your money is building value in both at the same time. And there's a higher cost because you have to pay the premiums in this type of a thing, but what you get as a secondary benefit is a massive death benefit to the insured, which could be you as the investor, or if you do it under one of the approaches, it could be somebody in your family. So there's different approaches to this, but this looks like a really good thing almost all the time for a lot of people to try to figure out how to get more out of their investment than a straight sale of a property or a business. And skills training is the last one. We're working on putting together a new paradigm for training people, particularly in fast-moving, high-tech businesses or industries like hemp where there is no educational training available. And the idea is that you would create courses that are taught in cooperation with the employer. The employee will pay this back out of a percentage of their wages over time, and it aligns the funding with the employer, with the employee all at the same time. And so we're right now working on doing a pilot for the hemp industry, 2 to 3 courses that would be demonstrative of how this would work, and maybe push this out through a new association that's in formation. So these are all different ways of trying to either target opportunity zones to address a major need in a community or to enhance ROI or create secondary benefits or multitude of benefits that may make it easier to raise the money and put the project together. So opportunity zones, all of you are familiar that are here this evening with the general benefits, the tax deferral, reduction of capital gains tax, and then if you hold your investment, your new investment can be tax-free if you hold it for 10 years. And there have been some interesting discussions about whether or not there's a resistance to investing in an opportunity zone because of the 10-year time period. And that question is a still open question because we don't have enough projects and enough data yet to answer it. And part of the concern is the communities are looking to benefit by having investment money come into the community, may not see as much money come in as they would like because of people's preference for short-term investing. We've been doing some research on actually the outcomes and metrics of short versus long-term, and there's some surprises coming out of that research that dealing with whether long-term is higher risk or not, and under certain circumstances where it's actually better to go long-term than short, which would change your whole paradigm for how you value or do something in investment. But interesting stuff going on there. Lastly, this time in the program, if you have a project and when, I would invite you to consider putting your project up here for the next program. We would like to give opportunity either funds or projects to stand up here and do a 5-minute short overview of the project, which might sound like an investor pitch, but it's purely educational despite how many dollars you ask for. But it's there to let everybody know, and because this is videotaped and put up on YouTube, it has the potential for a lot of eyes to see something that might not see it otherwise. So if you're interested, just let me know in advance. We'll get a slide deck into us, and we'll put it into this presentation. And then our next program is scheduled for October the 8th, which is a Tuesday. We're doing it on Tuesday that week because the Economic Development Council of Colorado is having their annual conference in the Springs on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll be down there for that. We do have a speaker lined up. Sean Covey is going to come in and talk about other tax incentives that can be married with Opportunity Zone tax incentives to create even more incentives or reasons to invest. And he'll be our speaker on the 8th. So with that, that gets to the end of the first part of tonight's program. So we're going to take a short break.